Hey, this is Wookie from Bandala Studios. Welcome to the workshop. Today we're going through how we made a LARP-safe computer prop for a 90s game I went to recently. So to start with, I designed the pattern in AutoCAD. The pink lines are cut-throughs, the blue lines are just etches in the foam, and I just roughed out how to do that, taking measurements off a computer monitor we had lying around the workshop. Then the laser does its thing, cuts it all out, making it so that it all goes together again nicely, hopefully. And all these little vents and holes that you're about to see would take so long to do by hand. Once we've got all the bits cut out, we pile them up and start to work out how we put it back together as an item. This should be easier than it always is, but we'll get there, work it all out. We chamfer the edges, running it along a 45-degree router bit. This is probably quite dangerous, so you probably shouldn't do it like this. You can use it as a knife, as I do often. Then thin layer of glue on each side, leave it to dry, push it together. We're using Evo-Stick 528 contact adhesive, as you can see. And then we're starting to work out to put the back together. Once we've got that back into position, we chamfer the edges again, 45 degrees on the router, and the edges, and just thin layer of glue again. Put the whole thing together. Trying to get the actual box of the back together was a bit awkward because we wanted everything to go together at the same angle, so we had lots of pairs of hands trying to do it evenly all together so that all the angles ended up the same, it didn't distort too much. And go, close up the seams. The seams aren't too important on this, it's a quick rough and ready prop, so we're not too worried and it will be sealed later. Once that's all built together, we reinforce the insides with some glue gun. This is because everything's just cut at 45-degree chamfers, and the chamfers aren't actually 45 degrees, so we need to reinforce any of the points that are just held together by touching thin edges. Yeah, it gives us the box to make the computer. Then we start to work out the base of it. So I wanted to make it look like it had one of those adjusting mounts. So we got a foam football, cut the bit off, eyeballed the angle to get the front to the back position. Then just going to bit of spray glue, a few layers, then put it in place. The reason we're using spray glue for this is the spray glue is stronger than the foam of the football, so it doesn't matter how strong the glue is, the football is the weakest part of the foam arrangement, so it'll rip before the glue goes apart anyway. Then we just push that in place, and that gives us the exciting looking ball adjustment mount. Then we're going to work out the actual base part, and that's just eyeballed off a bit of foam, give us something about the right size that we wanted. This is all just a sheet of scrap foam we had lying around from a big foam order. It means one side of it doesn't glue very well, but we don't really care. It's, like I said before, it's a rough prop. And we cut out a hole for that ball to sit in, and just chamfer it round so that it got more surface area for gluing. And that gives us the idea of where that's going to go. I'm just chamfering the front edge off here because it looked a bit boxy, and it thought it would look nicer with a smoother, more discreet front face. Now we're sharpening a knife, and we're just going to start to round off all the corners, and just quickly going along with the knife to start with, and then I'll sand them all off later to round them off to make it look a bit more rounded and smooth, like we were aiming for a thing that really existed. Then we glue the base on. Take the opportunity to add a bit more glue around the whole football so that the glue primes for the latexing later in the bit that's hard to get to. Then we set someone in position and set it up so it all looked at the right angle. Then we're going to start doing the keyboard. This was dead easy. We just cut out a load of keys out of thin foam on the laser again, and we're just going to glue those into place with a dot of hot glue where the appropriate shaped and sized key fits on the markings we put on in the laser pattern. These keys aren't very well sized or particularly accurate. I didn't really care that much, it would just create the illusion of something going on there. But it works pretty good. Once that's all done, we need to prime it for gluing, so we're going to glue in a bit of pipe lagging to give us something to hang it from, so that we've got a place that we can move it around with and hang it up to dry without it being too much of a problem. Then once that's done and held, we can prime the whole thing with spray glue. See little wire hooks I'm putting in place there. And we're just spraying the whole lot with a layer of spray glue. There's a knack to spray gluing things so it doesn't look too webby and stringy, but we get that with practice. Then I'm just layering a quick layer of random grey spray latex over. Just trying to get a good even base coverage. Do all the parts. Don't need to worry about the backs of things too much. That's going to be velcroed onto the face of the monitor so that we can break it over someone's head and rechange the screen. See, we hang them up to dry in the drying room. And we switch to a grey, from the grey to a beige colour, which has that nasty old 90s computer look. And we're just trying to get an even coverage of the whole thing. Once we've got enough latex on, we're just going back in with a bit of acrylic caulking to fill any of the most egregious seams that were really ropey. Like I said, this didn't really matter too much, it was a throwaway gag rather than a piece for sale or anything. But we wanted it to look at least passable from a distance as an actual computer monitor. We also rounded out any of the internal corners around the base and things. Then we need to create that proper 90s vibe, so we added a pack of stickers that we bought off eBay from 90s bands, just to make it look retro. And there you go. There's one finished computer monitor. Thanks for watching, hope you enjoyed that. Don't forget to like and subscribe.